When I'm dancing, I fell down the stairs. Anyways, um, so yeah, I had a little problem last night. Or no, wait, shit, that was 2 days ago. 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago. Wasn't last night, night before. Whatever. Well, I gotta take you back. Before I tell you the story, I gotta take you back a few decades. Back in the day, my idiot father had was known as the hot dog cooker. Basically, what it was a glorified toaster oven. No. Correction, it wasn't a toaster oven, it was just a regular ass toaster. But it had, instead of the slats for like the bread, it had these two little holes that you shove a hot dog in, and on the side you can shove buns in. Okay. Anyways, this thing was beautiful. This thing was phenomenal. I mean, this thing cooked your hot dog like you wouldn't believe. It was better than frying it, and I almost would say it was better than grilling it. Now, I dig me a grilled hot dog once on a blue moon, but this hot dog toaster thing kicked ass. I mean, it kicked serious ass. I mean, you would take these hot dogs and you would begin to chew on them, and you'd be like, "Hot damn, this is good." Anyways, being the cheap sumbitch that I am, I didn't want to pay $29.99 or whatever the hell it is, $19.99 or $39.99, some $99.99. I didn't want to pay. So I took my $9.99 regular bread toaster, and for the past almost 4 years, I've been cooking, for the most part, my hot dogs in there. You just put them in, you put it down, and hope for the best. Well, I jacked the thing up to like as high as it would go the other night. Now, I've been doing this for years. Okay, not every day, but I've done my fair share. I've done at least 30 hot dogs in the thing. Well, when my friend Matthew Ballou was here, I sent him to the store. And I was expecting, regular cheap-ass hot dogs. Okay. Now, think about this. The man flew in from where the hell he lives, Timbuktu, out in the middle of nowhere, to my house, which is even out further in the middle of nowhere, so that he could go 2 minutes down the road to get me some hot dogs. Think about the logic in that. Anyways, instead of buying the cheap hot dogs, again, I don't know if I should blame this on him or not. Because if he'd bought the cheap hot dogs like I was expecting, this wouldn't have happened. This wouldn't have happened. Instead, I was thinking like a $5, it's like $3 and something, almost $4. For the really cheap ones, unless you get one of those big honking packs, and it's closer to $7 or $8. He got like those German Frank motherfuckers. Those really good hot dogs. They were like $10 a thing. Like a big thing of them, but they were $10, which I appreciate. Don't get me wrong, because basically he bought more than I had money for. So on one hand, it was a really good thing, but on the other hand, I knew there was something wrong, because the first set that I had, I put them in the toaster because it was late at night and I didn't feel like it. Actually, was after dark and I didn't feel like going outside because I don't have light on the porch yet. Working on that, but anyways, so I couldn't do this. I put them in the toaster. Nothing, everything was fine. While it was in the toaster, I heard it popping. The hot dog was popping and like sizzing and going. Honestly, I didn't know what the hell that was, but I could tell that it was dripping some sort of grease, which they all do. They all sweat and whatnot. But this was like different sweatage. And then the next day when I grilled, because this is basically all I've eaten for like a week is hot dogs. The next day I grilled 2 more, and I could tell just by the way they were cooking up that they're really juicy hot dogs. Well, the third set of hot dogs I did, I put them in the toaster because again it was after hours, and I hear it sissing, and I'm like, oh, whatever. Okay, because believe me, there's so much shit in the bottom of that toaster. Guess what? Whoop-de-doo. Okay, there's breadcrumbs in there from like 4 years ago, and then I cleaned the thing out. Okay, I thought, you know, what's a little hot dog juice? You know what I'm saying? Well, apparently the freaking hot dog juice of these particular extremely overpriced perhaps, hot dogs, which are very good by the way, so don't misunderstand me when I say overpriced, but they were a little pricey. They were on the steeper end of the hot dog range. Apparently, and don't get me wrong, they're damn good, but the juice in these things apparently is flammable. I'm sitting there, I got my toaster and I got my little cup. I'm sitting. I got the little chair pulled up to the edge of the counter. On the other side, I got my cup. I'm putting the ice in it. I got my Pepsi. I got the whatever else I was having with my dinner. All of a sudden, I hear this whoosh, this whoosh, like you would hear of fire. Actually, it was the same fucking sound, if you remember, in Christmas Vacation, when Uncle Lewis lights up in the living room, and you see Clark, he's eating, and he's smiling, all of a sudden you hear the whoosh, and you see the flash behind him, and Clark he looks at Ellen, and is like, what, I'll get up and check it. And he goes in there, and the whole tree is in flames, and Uncle Lewis is burning up. That's that same whoosh sound. That whoosh, whoosh sound is what it was. And I looked, and there's a 3-foot fucking flame coming from my toaster, and my hot dogs are sizzling, and they're like screaming. They're like, ee, ee. They're making hissing, screaming sounds. They're like, ee, ee. They were fucking screaming. They were on fire. The fucking hot dogs were on fire. My toaster was on fire. There were flames. Flames coming from my toaster. Now, I've done this before with cheap hot dogs, and they don't do that. They don't do that. This shit was flammable. It wasn't just a bad break, and I was like, oh, well, it finally gave way. I've done this with other stuff. I've used that toaster to cook things other than bread for a long time. All of a sudden, somebody comes over and buys me overpriced hot dogs, and they burn the shit up. They burned my house down. I mean, dude, the flame was 3 feet fucking tall. And I'm sitting, I didn't panic. I was like, shit, as long as the cupboards ain't up. Because the shit was like coming up toward the cupboard. I was like, oh shit. And I'm sitting and I pull the thing out and I unplug it. And I'm like, oh shit. And I pull it out so the flame is nowhere near the cupboard. Because it was high enough to reach the cupboard. And if I hadn't been sitting there, my whole house would be on fire. And yes, it was that bad. Seriously, if that toaster had been under something like, oh, I don't know, a curtain, I'd be dead right now. I'd be dead. I'd be on fire. They'd still be putting me out. I say the man breaks shit, the man breaking shit. He's breaking my stuff. He's breaking my spirit. He's breaking my figures. He's breaking my toaster. He's breaking everything. I mean, it's one of those things you try and you do well and you try to help, and it just comes back to bite me. Okay. I mean, the flame was 3 feet tall. Anyways, I'm standing there and I'm watching the flame, and I'm like, is this shit gonna? Because I've had things just flame up before. Like one time I was, I don't know, hot cocoa or something, and it kind of spilt out. The powder kind of spilt out and caused a flame on the burner, and it was like, big deal. Okay, it went, and it kind of just fizzled out. And I'm sitting there waiting, is this going to fizzle the fuck out? Well, it sat there and it burnt. And it burnt. And it burnt. And it burnt. And it was no, like, smoke. There was a little smoke, but it wasn't, like, burnt plastic kind of smoke. It wasn't black and fuming and frothy, you know. I looked up in the ceiling. I expected to see it all smoky, and it wasn't. I'm just saying, okay, this is going to finally, it's just going to end. 15 seconds went by, 20 seconds went by. Finally, I just went over and I started going, I went, I started blowing on the fucking thing. Is it going to go out? I blow it, it was kind of, it fizzle out, then it flame back up, and then, and it would fizzle, and it flame back up. I'm like, what the fuck? It was like one of those trick candles, and you blow it out, and the fucker keeps coming back. That's exactly what it was. But every time I did, it kept getting higher and higher, and I'm like, oh shit. Finally, I said, you know what, I ain't got time for this shit. I went, I grabbed some water. Because there's one thing, you know, you got a grease fire. They tell you don't throw water. I'm throwing anything I can at that shit. And of course, you know, I'm not equipped for this. I'm not equipped for flame. I don't have baking soda. And I got a fire extinguisher somewhere. Couldn't tell you where. So I get some water. And oh, just a little bit in the bottom. Goes, and it sizzles out, and it's over. My toaster is black as fuck. It ain't gonna toast shit never again. It probably still works. There's probably not, because all it did was just, it inflamed the grease. The grease lit on fire. That's all it was. The toaster still works. I ain't gonna plug that sumbitch back in, but it still works. I probably could toast another 20 years with the thing if I did just straight up toast or cheap hot dogs. But seriously, are you kidding me? The freaking hot dog, fucking toaster just blew up. My toaster blew up and burnt up. Seriously, I mean, I don't need that. I don't need that. That's how I'm going to remember my Memorial Day. The day my toaster got set on fire by overpriced hot dogs. Okay. And then they took the house. Could have taken my life. I mean, it could have been horrible. I could be burnt to a fucking crisp right now. And I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. But anyways, that's all I got to say. That's really all I got to say.